If there is one decision in my 20s that completely changed my life, it wasn't a big career leap. It wasn't starting a business or finding new sources of income. It was choosing the idea to live cheap when everyone else in my friend group and my age group was trying to flex their money. And before you roll your eyes, no, I am not saying to live like a hermit and never spend a dime. I am just saying that learning to live not only below your means, but way below your means early gives you freedom that most people in their 20s will never get to experience. Oh shit, and I know I am only 25, but I've been truly living way below my means for the past 2 years, and it has completely changed my look on finances and my financial freedom. So, let us start with a reality check. Our Generation S financial landscape is a little brutal, especially right now. Student loans and interest rates are through the roof. Insane. Inflation has eaten away at the dollar bill and what our money can actually buy and what it is worth. And the job market, well, I know sometimes the numbers and news make it seem like it is doing better than it is, but in reality, the job market is shaky at best. I know a bunch of you guys right now have commented that you are struggling to find a job, and I was definitely in that position too. So it is no surprise that over 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And once you are in that cycle, breaking free is the hardest part, especially if you get a pay raise. It makes it even harder sometimes because you are in that cycle of spending all your money, but the best time to avoid falling into it is your late teens and your 20s, before you've taken on huge responsibilities like a mortgage, kids, or even just lifestyle inflation. And the main problem is we just spend too much money on dumb stuff: cars, rent, random luxury purchases. It just eats people alive financially. The average car payment right now is anywhere from the high 500s to low $800 a month, average rent $1,700 to $2,000 a month depending on where you are going, and just overall spending, basically we buying wants instead of true needs. Over time, that can hit anywhere from $300 to $500 a month if you are not careful. And the kicker is that most of those costs are always self-inflicted. No one needs a $50,000 car at the age of 22, but I've seen it happen again and again. No one needs to pay $3,000 a month in rent just to live in a cool spot or have a 2-story house. But people do it, and then they wonder why they can T-save. Let me give you guys a perfect example of how I messed up in my late teens and my early 20s when I was younger, and still now, I've always been into cars. And I know I've talked about my cars a few times, but in December of 2018, when I was 18 years old, I went and bought a Subaru WRX. My own money, my dad co-signed, and I was super excited with the car. Well, not only was I able to only enjoy the car, I ended up putting a lot of money into that car. And all in all, when it came time to sell it, I lost money on the car because after all the upgrades and after everything I still owed on it, I ended up losing money. But that didn't stop me because not even 2 years later, I sold the car, lost a bunch of money on it, and then I went and bought a BMW because I wanted to, have that nice car. I wanted to upgrade it. I knew it could be faster. I knew it was nicer. I put a bunch of money into that, spent a lot of time and effort building this car up. And not even 2 years later, again, in July of 2023. Not even 3 years later, I convinced myself that the smartest thing for me to do was to sell the BMW, which I was going upside down on and lost all my money with when it came to upgrades, and buy a brand new Model 3 Performance Tesla because I was telling myself I was saving money on gas. At the time, I thought I was doing the best thing for myself, but looking back on it, probably one of the dumbest financial mistakes I've ever made in my life. And ever since then, I know as of now, that is not even 2 years ago, I completely got out of the Tesla. I just ate the cash on it. And now I have a Jeep, and yeah, my Jeep, payment is, low 300s a month, but that is the lowest car payment I've ever had since I was 18. So realistically, I am living below my means. But before, I was just throwing money away when it came to cars. And granted, yes, I enjoyed the experience I had with those cars, but looking back on it, I didn't need to upgrade them that much. I didn't need to put that much money in it. I could have just enjoyed them or kept them for longer or paid down my principal, but instead, I was always trying to replace something great with something better. And I think the biggest trap that I fell into in my early 20s and teens was the I deserve it trap. I think that is one of the biggest wealth killers, especially in your 20s, is, you earned it, so you deserve it mindset, so you work hard all week. When I was working those two jobs, I was working 50 to 60 hours a week if you combine the two. So I convinced myself that I deserved it. I deserve the expensive weekend. I deserve the new watch. I deserve the new phone. I deserve that expensive car payment. Even if I already have all of that, that works perfectly fine. And the problem is this justification, it becomes a habit. So suddenly, every time I got a bonus or a raise or money from a side hustle, you blow it instead of investing it because I am telling myself that I deserve it. And look, there is nothing wrong with rewarding yourself occasionally. In fact, I think we all need to do it. It is a healthy part of living, but it needs to be planned and not impulsive. So next time you think you earned it so you deserve it and you spend a lot of money, ask yourself, will I still be glad I bought this a year from now? If the answer is no, your money is better off compounding the future for you. So to give you guys a backstory, when I graduated college, I started, at a job where I was making around $32 an hour. This is why I convinced myself that the Tesla was a good idea because I thought I could afford it. It is the most money that I had ever earned in my life. Plus, I was doing that job Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, I was working a part-time job, so I was making good money. But after I realized that I was throwing money away and I got rid of the Tesla, what did I do instead? I really locked down and focused on saving. I didn't look at new cars anymore. I didn't look at designer clothing. I didn't look at random collectibles. I tried to keep my life as simple as possible. So instead, I kept living like I was still broke. And the main thing is because I live like this. I still live like this and I was living like this. I was able to save and invest thousands of dollars every single year. So, I really took my savings seriously the past 2 years and I built up a cash position of almost $60,000. Now, if you look at my net worth video, I started trimming that down because I realized I just had way too much cash on hand that wasn't working for me. So I started investing that money in buying stocks and putting it into crypto, which my money has just completely grown from that point. But the truth is, when you live below your means, you have the availability to not only save money, but to grow your money every single year. And as we all know, that is just going to compound, and it is no magic tricks, no lottery ticket. It is just living way below your means for years and years, and that is going to pick up and really improve your financial foundation. And look, Dante, get me wrong. I am not saying I never spent money, right? I bought things that improved my quality of life. I bought new running shoes when I wanted to. I had a gym membership. I have books and courses that improve my skills. Me and my girlfriend went on a few, road trips and travel vacations. But the rule I followed was very simple. Spend on things that are going to make my life better. Give me memories and give me experiences, not things that just look good to other people that I can send you a Snapchat of and you get envious of. Because at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters, right? It is all just materialistic nonsense. So I think the kind of 5 main lessons for your 20s, and yeah, I am only 25, but this is what I've learned so far is drive a reliable used car. No car payment is one of the fastest ways to keep money in your pocket. Next is keeping your rent low rent, whether you can have roommates or you can house hack or you can just find an affordable apartment in a safe area. The truth is we don't want to be lifelong renters. I would love to own property at some point, so keeping your rent low is the best way to save cash on hand as well. Next, you've heard me talk about this is avoiding lifestyle creep. Just because your paycheck goes up doesn't mean your spending should. 4 is going to be investing early. Even a $100 a month from the age of 22 can grow into nearly $500,000 by retirement. Double it to $200 and you are looking close to $1 million. And I am sure most of us can find $100 a month. And then lastly is cutting the little expenses. That $19 a week habit. That is $1,000 a year, and it adds up really fast. So look, this is why it matters. If you can keep your expenses low while you are young, you give your money time to grow. Not only that, but you reinforce the mindset that you can live a simple life. You don't need a lot of materialistic things to keep you happy. And the real happiness comes from your money growing and creating that financial freedom. Every dollar that you invest in your 20s, every $1, it can be worth $20 to $25 by the time you retire. And I know a lot of people don't like to look towards retirement, but the humble truth is that a lot of us will have to retire at some point. And that is how compound interest really gets to grow. And most importantly, you give yourself the freedom. The freedom to potentially quit a job you hate or to take time off or move abroad, travel, or start something new without, the crushing stress of, if I start this, how am I going to pay my bills next month? Because you have all that extra cash ready to go because you are living, a financially frugal life. So if you are in your 20s, this is your window. I am telling you guys, I know it does sound fun. I know it does sound cool up front, but be cheap. Now save and invest the difference. That is the key. Save and invest that difference and spend only on things that truly matter to you, not what everyone else is talking about or what is the new trend. And trust me, the future you is going to look back and think you are so happy you did this because I've truly been doing this for about 2 years now and my money has grown exponentially. So if you guys found any value from this video, I appreciate a subscription and a thumbs up, and I see you guys in the next video. Peace.